tonight with us. We love you guys. And also I want to put out there, I don't usually do this. You do have your phone? Okay. So if I want to put out this offer to Facebook Live. Are we on, Caldwell? We are on. Thumbs up. What up? If you have a good or helpful question, I better look at the camera. I don't care about you guys. If you have a good or helpful question tonight, go ahead and chime in. I've got the beautiful Pastor Amanda up here in the front row, and she's going to censor if it is a good and helpful question. And if you got a question that you would like to ask them along the way, fire it in. She'll take a look, and we'll see if we can't get that answer tonight. For the rest of you guys here tonight, make sure you bombard these guys out here. Don't let them sneak out real quick. And if you want to talk to them afterwards, they'll be around for a bit. Well, I guess they will be now. I just put the offer out. But can you guys give a warm welcome to these guys as they come up here? Wow, what a flashy company.
That's us.
We've got Pastor Scott Miner in the house tonight.
Oh, goodness.
I know, isn't that was pretty official, wasn't it? And he's a graduate of ORU. I am wearing his clothes that he wore in high school, so I still fit into
You wear
him.
it better than me.
I like to hear
You
that,
do.
yes. But he's a graduate of ORU back last December, and he is a youth pastor at the Church on the Move down in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so welcome to the house tonight. But we do have
picture.
a photo.
Oh, my
Isn't it
goodness.
cute?
Hey, that's a starting quarterback right there. 7th grade.
7th? I heard 8th. It was 7th grade. Okay.
Maybe it was 8th. No, it might have been 8th.
Look at that cute
I was
face.
scrawny.
You just want to slap it,
I
you
was
know?
so small.
And we
Still
also have
am.
his fiance, Maggie Weber, in the house tonight.
Hi.
Come on,
She's a
somebody.
senior at Oklahoma
Come on.
City University.
Let's go.
She's majoring in dance and art management, and I hear she's the coolest human alive.
It's
Yeah,
true.
Those are all facts.
At least that's what was on the text.
It's true.
So no,
I said that.
Oh, thanks.
You're
yeah,
welcome.
that was brownie points right there. I threw that in there.
She
so,
is the coolest
So
person.
whatever.
alive.
Are we all? Am I good over here? Do I need to scoot closer? I'm good. I got some warm-up questions. You guys ready for them?
Come on, bring it
It's
on.
always about warming up and stuff
Bring it
like
on.
that. And so we just want to know, where you're from and where you're living now. And you guys do the best you can.
I know that answer.
Having 3 microphones going. So
I'm from here, from Piasta to be specific, and I live in Oklahoma City. And I'm moving to Tulsa in June.
Because we're getting married.
uh-oh.
Let's go.
Congratulations. Is
What,
the month
did-
picked out?
Yeah, June 2nd.
Did you just say
You
that?
got it? Yeah, you
I
got
did get the envelope. I
Yeah.
didn't
You
open
gotta
it
save
up
the
yet.
date.
I didn't open it.
Check it out.
I will.
She
What?
got it.
It was
She's all over
beautiful.
it.
It was like this glittery, silvery thing or something like that with very nice
She
handwriting.
wrote it.
Well, I know you didn't. The
It
handwriting was
wasn't
too
me.
nice.
I didn't do any of it. It was
Us-
all her.
Us guys, we don't write like that. It was too nice. What high school did you guys go
I
to?
didn't get to answer that first question.
Were you,
Do you not care about where I... grew up
before
at?
we got
What's going on?
started tonight,
What's going on?
here he's the youth pastor. And so I thought, maybe us two would be the ones that would talk too much. But, really, I said, I think Maggie was going to take control of the microphone. And so far, she
Probably.
has.
She will. We were, so we drove up from Tulsa today for you guys. We left at 5 a.m.
Only reason we came
Not
home.
just for you guys. Thanksgiving.
They don't get up that early for no reason at all.
But we were talking it through on the drive and talking through some of the questions. And I was like, okay, you can just take the mic and go because
Drop it,
she's
dude.
got some good
Just
answers.
drop
She'll do a little mic drop. Sorry, Caldwell. We won't break the mic. Okay, I want to answer the first
So
question.
where are you from?
Yeah.
Where are you at now? And
Yeah.
what high school did you go to?
Yeah, first of all, my name's Scott.
Boom.
Scott Miner. Let's see, I grew up around here in Dyersville, Iowa, and then Farley, Iowa. If you've ever heard of it.
I did. I grew up in Farley, Iowa. I just want to say that right now.
Come on.
Nobody cared.
No, nobody really cares. Where do I live now? I live in, you already said this, but I'll answer it, say it again. I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the great city in Oklahoma.
Actually, Jinx.
Jenks. I live in Jenks, Oklahoma.
I've never heard of
Jinx,
that place.
Oklahoma.
And you went to West Dubuque High School.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Hempstead. Cool people come out of West Dubuque.
We both graduated from WD. Let's
West
go.
Dubuque, West Dubuque, West Dubuque. I love these guys. Who?
Hey, last week was last week. We're focusing on this week.
Yeah,
okay?
that's all.
Come
news.
on. Come on. Amen.
What are
It's
your
true.
3 most favorite things in life? What are you most passionate about? And we obviously know what one of those is probably going to be. Scott's going to say Maggie, and Meg's going to say Scott. So
I was gonna say Maggie, but I don't think she was gonna say Scott. I'm gonna be real honest.
I have 4.
you have 4. Wow. Go ahead.
Okay, my first thing I'm most passionate about is people, just community and like getting to know people, coffee dates, getting to know your story, what other people love. That's my first one. And then my second one is dance / performing arts. I've always been a dancer and I love it. And that was really southern.
Hey y'all, I love to dance.
And then my third
back now.
thing is I really love brunch.
See, Scott
and
did not make the
is
list.
the fourth
Brunch?
thing, most
Brunch.
important.
Does
Brunch
everybody
made
know
the
what
list
brunch is?
over me.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make
It's
sure.
like a mid-morning, really big meal.
We call that breakfast and lunch.
Brunch.
It's something in between.
Put them
brunch.
together.
Put them together.
Boom. Brunch.
Brunch.
Yeah. My answer, the first thing I had on my list was Maggie.
Nice job. Another point.
Yeah, because I put a ring on her finger.
Mm-hmm.
So, pretty passionate about her. Other things I'm passionate about, sports. I like sports. I'm not good at them, but I like to watch them. I am passionate about my job.
It could be why he was a 7th grade quarterback and no more.
Exactly. Pretty much. Not very good, but I can watch them.
He's beat me in enough
can watch
sports.
him.
He's good in sports, whatever.
That's my answers.
That's your
And
answers?
obviously, come on, Jesus up at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, yeah.
Amen. Right
Mark
up there.
Histed had,
Right up there.
he had Highstead. I still say it's Histed.
Hempstead.
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 Mark, he, Jesus was his number 1. I just want to say that he was a little more holy than you guys, but whatever. Question is, where did you guys meet? And this is interesting. We should plug your ears because I want to hear if there's multiple answers. Where did you guys meet and when?
I think it's mutual.
No, it's very mutual.
Oh, okay, you guys practiced this.
We
one.
met-
Okay, good job.
In family consumer science class at Western Dubuque High School when I was a freshman and he was a sophomore.
Nice.
The truth. Miss Walkie Pollitt was our teacher.
How long you got? What'd you say, freshman and a sophomore?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so that was a few years back.
Yeah.
How many is that? I can't do the math.
It's like 6.5.
6.5.
Who's counting?
That's the next question.
Which one is?
How long ago was that?
Oh, that's because I can't do the math. My next question, because I skip them, because that's just what I do, is how did you hear about youth group? And
He threw us off. Was it
Isn't that
out-
what
out
I
of
do?
order?
Carson,
No.
you've
Oh,
come
we
up for
already
enough
covered those. We
examples up
already
front.
covered
It's
those.
all about throwing off. How did you guys hear about United Youth Group? And this is going to be different.
You want to keep rolling first?
Sure.
Okay, what's your answer?
Him. He brought me after we met or after we started dating that summer.
It's true. It's the truth.
Yeah, that's the only way I heard about it.
So you went for about 4 years.
Yeah. Well, 3.
If you were a freshman?
Well,
sophomore?
I just went that summer because I had dance on Wednesday nights. But then the next 3 years I could come consistently.
But then she came.
Well, we're
yeah.
learning some things here, guys.
She's passionate about dance.
That's true. That's
Come on.
true.
Top 3.
So 3.5.
3.5.
3.5.
I started coming to Word of Life when I was in 2nd grade. Thanks a lot, Mom.
She's here in the house today.
Shout out to
with
my
us.
mom and dad back there.
Nice. Another brownie
you.
point. Well, you're just dropping the
I
brownie
know.
points
It's
left
all about
and
getting
right.
brownie points. So I didn't have a choice, really. I was pretty much forced to come to church since I was in 2nd grade.
Yeah.
So I was in United,
This could be a
6th
good
grade to
sermon.
12th
I think
grade.
he's getting ready to preach.
Come on. No, it was a choice. I loved going. But yeah, I was in United every year I could be.
Every year you could be. Then what was your guys'
Mhm.
favorite memory? Because then I think I didn't have to redo it. Because if it was
rolling.
your favorite, then these guys is probably going to be their favorite.
My favorite was probably, I only went to camp once, and it was my last year. And it was probably my favorite memory just because I got to hang out with everyone for a full week. And it was just really cool to get to, like, know everyone on a deeper level. And also, fun fact, I was a student and Scott was a leader at the camp.
Camp
so that-
counselor.
Wow. Okay, watch out for that. Man,
Hey, we
write that down.
We kept distance.
Oh,
At
yeah,
all
we weren't
times.
allowed to be in 10 feet of
Yeah.
each other.
Don't worry. I was
Is
being
that
a
the
good.
year I was in charge?
Yeah.
And he
Oh,
let
Lord.
I
somebody
was
eat a
being a
frog.
good leader.
Did I ruin
I let somebody eat a frog.
I do remember that year. It's
My
coming back
bad.
to me now.
Okay. My bad. He didn't die. But yeah, we kept our distance. She had to use my toothbrush once.
Well, I was unaware of all this. That's pretty gross. She didn't eat a
Someone
frog.
jacked her. Someone
I
stole it.
left it in the community bathroom, and it was gone.
It's gone.
You left it
Had
in the
to brush
community
my
bathroom.
teeth.
So
Leave it be.
we kind of crossed the line, I think. My bad.
Okay, I could have had bad breath the entire week. But
We wouldn't want that.
No. My favorite memory, youth group. There were a lot of good memories. Probably camp.
So a couple camps. Wow.
Yeah, camp. Things just get weird and wild at camp a lot.
Yeah, frogs.
You were only my youth pastor for like a year.
1 year.
One
That's
year?
it. So I don't take credit in anything you're messed up about because
So-
I did the best I could in the short amount
in
of
that
time.
short year, you can't change much. But Pastor Adam Hershey was my youth pastor, and some of my favorite memories are just like the stupid stuff we did at camp that would get us in trouble, but he was the one that instigated it all.
He was more wild.
Yeah.
I just want to let that be known.
Like sneaking into the
I'm a
pool
little
after
more boring.
hours.
I
He
agree.
led the charge. There were these high top tables that were kind of like imagine a spool of
Guys,
yarn.
plug your ears. Don't
No,
take
no,
any
this is
notes
good.
here.
This is good
all
stuff.
bad stuff.
Imagine like a spool of yarn except a table. I don't know if you can picture that, but we rolled it on its side and we're just rolling it down a hill and like running on top of it, sliding underneath of it. Just random memories like that. That were funny. It was good stuff.
That was before me.
Yeah, you don't get away with that
I try to
stuff
follow
anymore.
with better safe.
Follow the rules.
Better safe than suit.
Lesson
Yeah.
learned. Always follow the rules.
So what best? I hear two times you guys said summer camp was some of the best memories, which makes sense. It's like really busting away from the norm, et cetera, et cetera. What do you think you contribute to most connecting you with youth group? What was that? What was that thing that kind of?
Probably just
Ladies
like
first.
Yep, for sure. Hanging around after youth and getting to know Amanda and getting to know everyone else, all the other students and leaders, and just like having a real actual relationship with everyone instead of just coming in and like kind of like sitting, watching youth and leaving, like actually engaging and being a part of it. Probably helped me feel most connected, I would say.
It's good.
So not rushing out the door. That's good.
Right.
Yeah. Show up right at 7, leave right at 8. No. Well, what got me most connected probably was volunteering, being a part of the band. That was some of my favorite memories too, playing drums. But I was really close with the people that were on the band. Going out afterwards, I don't know if you were a part of this. We always used to go to Culver's.
Applebee's.
So you weren't a part of Culver's. Come on, step off. It turned into Applebee's.
Don't you remember the karaoke nights?
Yes.
Oh, those are awful.
Oh, they were
Terrible. But seeing each other outside of these 4 walls, because you come here, I don't know if you go to school. Not many people from WD came to United when I was in United. I don't know if any of you even go to WD. I see a Bobcat. Nice.
I got 3.
Reppin'. But I didn't have many school friends that came here, and so seeing people from other schools in these walls was awesome, but then also seeing them outside the walls, like whether we go to Culver's or we hang out on a Friday night, whatever it is, that helped me connect. Take it a step further than just attending.
I think this is going to lead into this one. This is a bigger question, but I think it's just important, and Scott's probably going to get his preach on here. No, I don't know. It says, do you feel your leadership and involvement with United strengthened or played a part in keeping you? Number 1, involved in youth group and church. Number 2, attending church even after graduation, which we've talked in here before is a massive problem of Christian youth. 80-85% leaving the church or leaving God after graduation, etc. So attending church even after graduation and growing in your walk with God. So do you think your leadership and involvement strengthened or played a part in keeping you?
Yes.
Final
And
answer.
I would say that I for sure, like my involvement in youth here definitely helped me on my transition to a new city and a new like environment. Totally. I became involved at a church down in Oklahoma City as a youth leader. And I mean, if I wouldn't have been here for the 3 years before that, I would have had absolutely no interest to really even become a youth leader or be really plugged in at a church. So that definitely influenced my choice.
Yes, as well. But maybe not for the right reasons. I don't know. Thinking about this question, here's the thing. Like, being super involved was awesome. And my leadership skills grew a bunch through that. Being able to lead the band, being able just to be a leader in the group, even though I wasn't technically a leader, just as the oldest one in the group, leading, was great. And that's helped me a ton. But at the same time, I kind of had the mindset, like, if I don't go to church, then it's going to be bad. Not that it's all about Jesus, but that I have to be in the walls of church. And so when I left, it was kind of like I was almost burnt out of volunteering because I had done a lot. And so when I went down to Tulsa, I didn't serve at the church. I went to Church on the Move, but I didn't serve at all for a year. And I just kind of was a consumer. I just showed up, walked in the doors, didn't meet anybody, didn't talk to anybody, walked out. And yeah, that year wasn't very good. Like, I didn't get plugged in at all. And then when I took that step to get plugged in, like I knew I should, but I was just kind of not wanting to do that. But then getting back involved and back plugged in, that's where things started to change, and God started to work a lot more through me. So you right now, you might not be able to get plugged in, whatever. Serving helps you. Instead of just the consumer mindset that you're going to show up and hear a great word from Pastor Mike.
That was a plug. Now he's just doing brownie points.
Brownie points all over. Let's go.
I like this guy.
Gonna hear a good word, but then just walk out and probably forget about it 2 days later. But when you start to put it to play and you serve, you use those gifts that God is putting in you, then it sticks with you as you go on. So yes.
Yeah, and what you're basically, it's that Enoch thing. It's where I want a relationship with you, Lord, for myself. You know, and that's one of the things we can get in the rut with. You know, just we come to church, and the question is, are we coming because we want to come, because we want to receive from Him, but also coming to the realization we have something to give at the same time. And when we graduate, we really step out to where it's like, man, I am the accountability. Lord, what's my relationship really with you? Nobody's checking up on me. Nobody's telling me you're not getting up for church. And so, like you said, you stepped out and kind of took a break, so to say, and you started to notice a difference. You started to notice that, man, I need to be involved, Lord. I want to be hooked up tighter with you. And does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, that's it.
Meg, how about you? You know, when you stepped out, how long was it for you to kind of feel that change? I mean, I've graduated. I went to Bible school, but there's a difference of having to go or having your mom and your dad kind of got their eyes on you a little bit. It's like, whoa, I grew up just a little bit. I got some responsibility. Lord, it's a real thing now.
Well, when I first started school, I church hopped a little bit with my roommate. Scott will talk about that probably. And honestly, like we ended up going to like separate churches, and then I went on Sundays by myself for like a whole year. And then I started like inviting my friends, and now there's like a group of 7 of us who like get up every Sunday morning and go. But initially, it was kind of hard because I was so used to every Sunday morning, like my mom would wake me up at 9:45 to go get ready for church and go to church. And then decide, like making my own decision that like that was something I needed to do was kind of just, I think this is a hard question. I think I just had to make, coming, did you? No, because you didn't write it down.
You went off script.
My bad, accident.
I just had to make like the mindset change, like as soon as I went to college, like in every area of my life, that like I do like make my own decisions now, and like I don't have my mom hovering over me just to tell me like every which turn to take. So just with the mindset of like, okay, what is going to benefit like my future and what's going to bring the most glory to God's kingdom is kind of the mindset I had to have going into college.
And that's the thing. Yeah, God wants a relationship with us, just like he says in his word. He cares about every little bit about us. He knows our numbers of hair. He knows da-da-da-da-da. And so I guess really, you're already answering this, is how important is your relation, is it with your relationship with the Lord? Did I say that right? And what would it be like if it wasn't so strong, I guess? How important is that relationship with the Lord, and that it stays strong in your life, that you just can't afford to let it linger, lax, fall short? Weekend. I love that word.
Weekend.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Thanks, Amanda.
Good word.
I can't hear that far away. She can.
Well, relationship, like having a relationship with the Lord is number one and like top priority in our lives. And I was thinking about this just now, and like we don't always act like it. Like it's hard to like always be acting on that, because in like society we just get so caught up in like everything else going on in our lives that it's really hard to make your core focus all the time the Lord, something you can't see and something like not everyone's on the same page about. So making that top priority is like actually really difficult a lot of the time. So I think the reason I've gone through seasons where like I haven't been as faithful or haven't been reading my Bible as much or haven't been going to church, and like that's when my relationships with other people suffer, and that's when my motivation in other parts of my life suffer too. So just like having a strong relationship with the Lord makes every area of my life 10 times, a million times more.
Yeah.
10 times a million.
10 times a million times more.
10
Wow.
million.
I can re-say that, but I can't hear from over there. I liked what you said. You said our lives, and so you guys are already thinking in the future of making keeping that as a couple, that he is in the middle of your lives, and it's going to be vital. And the other thing is like you said, it's difficult sometimes to make sure our priorities are straight, because if the world and everything around us will try to pull that relationship apart, and we got to work at it. We got to keep it in our focus and our agenda, and make sure it's scheduled in our time with God.
Can I add?
Well,
to
baby,
this?
you're up, man. Go for it.
So along with what she said, God has to be number one in your life, but number one in all your relationships. So he's number one in our relationship, but then he's number one, like he's got to be number one above my friends and above my family. And so for me, it's easy to say that, like, yeah, God's number one. But what does it actually look like? It's kind of just this thing that we say. And so for me, a practical thing that I've put into play in my life is, first of all, just having a chair time, a quiet time that I spend with God every day. If you don't have one, tip.
Find a chair.
Find a chair, sit in it, talk to God. You don't even have to sit in a chair. But for me, and it doesn't have to look like this for everybody, but first thing in the morning, that's what I do. I spend time with God, and then it dawned on me that the way I was structuring it was just backwards. And so to truly put God first, I structure my chair time like that, where I spend time, honestly, just like, God, you're so incredible. Just giving him the glory he deserves. And then I have a book that I pray for Maggie, for a future spouse. We both have a book. It's pretty cool. But so God, I always put him first, and then I pray for Maggie, and then I pray for my family, my friends, whatever, certain days of the week, whatever. Pray for people, and then dive into the Word. So God always comes first. That I'm not first thing focus is going to Maggie, but I want to make sure God is first. So that's one practical step that I have to actually put him first in my life.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's right, if it's wrong.
That's good advice.
It works for me.
Keeping the priorities straight. And it really leads us into the next thing. And I'm gonna mix two together here. Is first of all, I love what it says in 1 Corinthians 15:33, and it says, don't be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. And so, we hear that a lot from either parents or our pastors, or maybe if we got awesome friends, we hear from friends that, the friend choice thing. And so, what advice do you have with us of the importance of friend choice? And secondly, I look at my life, and I know I'm a little bit older, so maybe, I don't know. I only hang out with one person that I actually was in high school with back in the day. And so, and I don't see anybody else. And so we have that peer pressure all the time that it's like, oh, I got to do this because of peer pressure. When really, in fact, it's like, I'm not going to ever half the time see these people. It's just realistic ever again. And so I guess what advice do you guys got? Just the importance of what friend choice really is and what it's been in your life.
Do you have an answer? You want to go? It looks different, honestly, between the two of us. Because looking back at the friends I have now, who I went to high school with, I consistently know. Well, I went to high school with her, so there's one. I don't really count that.
She was a freshman and he was a sophomore.
Yeah, I was a year older. She was lame. But my best friend, I went to high school with him, and he lives in Tulsa now, and he comes over like 4 times a week or more. He's always over. So I see him all the time.
Is he eating your food?
He eats my food if I let him.
If he's watching this live,
Devin, watch out. Yeah. So I got him, and then there's maybe 2 other friends from high school that I've actually talked to in the last 2 months. Beyond that, none really. Maggie, on the other hand, you still talk to a lot of friends.
I in high school had like a really tight-knit group, but they're the only ones that I still talk to. There are like 9 of us who like have a group text, and we text in it a lot, and we like try to hang out over our breaks and stuff. But I mean, other than we went to like preschool to graduating high school together, and so we were super close. But other than those specific people, I mean, I never see anyone from high school really. And I think in high school, when I was so caught up with like making sure I was like pleasing everyone and like not doing the wrong thing or, trying to fit in, the people I was concerned about pleasing weren't even the people who I'm so close to now. Like those 9 people are the people who didn't like stress me out like that, you know what I mean? Like, so thinking back in high school, I'm like, wow, I tried so hard to like fit in or to please everyone when, like, not that you should be mean to people, but to please everyone.
That's what I
when
heard.
those people who I was trying to please, I haven't seen in 4 years. So, say about that.
You talk.
You
I don't know
did.
if I have that much to say.
Didn't you have a whole
No,
sermon
that's
on
good.
this one?
He preached it for 15 minutes in the car on the way up today.
No, I'm really. No, obviously, friends are everything in your life right now, is what it seems, and friends are good. I love my friends.
I still have a couple.
What's hard is to. I know I've sat in that seat where you guys are and heard somebody tell me, you're not going to be friends with those people in 5 years, and I shrugged it off like, okay, whatever. And I'm not friends with a lot of the people that I was trying to impress anymore. But when we're in, no matter what stage of life we're in, whether you're there or whether right here, it feels like everything around me is the most important thing ever happening. And that this season I'm in right now, life will never be the same. And so the friends I have, I'm always going to be friends with for forever and ever and ever. And it didn't happen in high school. It didn't happen for me in college. Had awesome friends in college. They moved away. I stayed in Tulsa. I talked to them every once in a while. But it's just seasons of life that friends, like, they play a huge role. You turn into your friends, and your friends turn into you. Who you spend time with the most, it's what you're going to be like. So look at the people you surround yourselves with and the way they behave at school, the way they carry themselves. Do you want to turn into them? Because a lot of times we become like our friends. And it seems so important right now that people like us, that we are affirmed, that everything is going well. But life goes on no matter what, no matter if you have friends, no matter if you don't have friends. It's the truth. This is bad advice now. I'm just kind of rambling.
It reminded me of something I wrote down, and I don't know the exact wording. Amanda, you might remember it. We're gonna have different friends at different seasons. Just because we have friends at a certain season or a certain place or a certain time in our life doesn't mean they're going to be there for 15, 20 years. There's good core, solid friends that come in at different seasons of our life that are just for a period of time. Sometimes they're there for decades, but other times they're only there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and then they're gone. And it doesn't mean that they were bad. It was just a season and a period and a place. And so really we just need to get excellent and well at picking good, strong friends and who's going to speak into our life at every season, because it's going to change throughout the years.
Yeah, I didn't mean don't have friends.
I didn't even hear that. I stopped listening to him for a second because I wrote notes for myself.
I've put it like I've heard it put like this before. So if you think of like a plant, I don't really know if this is the truth. I'm just gonna roll with it and hope that it's
good.
true.
We're getting analogies. We're not
like
sure.
a vine.
We got a question?
I don't know. Ooh, we have a question.
We got a question. Go ahead, finish.
Oh my gosh.
We're in
So here's the
plants.
deal with friends. With a vine that grows, sometimes the whatever it's called, the person that deals with that stuff, gardener, maybe we'll go with
Sounds
that.
good to me.
They have to cut that back in order for it to grow more. But then also if it's dead, they cut it off. So with our friendships, you might have a dead friendship that it's just like, this person is absolutely bringing me down. And in that instance, you just have to cut them out of your life. Like I can't hang out with them. Maybe don't like say, hey, I hate you. You're a bad influence on me. Get out of my life. No, still show them the love of God. But you might have to just cut them out of your life. But then the people that you might just need to cut back, they might be having too big of a role in your life. You cut that friendship back a little bit, and then you'll grow from there.
That's good.
I don't know.
That's true. We have a question.
Questions from the audience?
We do. This is exciting. You have to come up and talk into Maggie's microphone.
Yes. Welcome, Pastor Amanda.
Woo! Thanks,
The crowd
Mags.
goes wild.
Okay, we'll just start from the most recent. Yeah, we are
Nice.
live.
Nice.
There's several, so do you want me to just?
You better be.
It
Okay.
better be
I'm not
difficult.
sure.
I'm just gonna start with the most recent, and I'm gonna just keep going up. Okay. So this is like super important. I don't really know if you can answer it, but they want to know how you ripped your pants.
Labor. I do a lot of labor, hammering things.
No, he doesn't.
Yard work.
No, he doesn't. I'm sorry. Maybe he does.
I bought them.
I thought we'd start lightheartedly. Okay.
I bought them for more than I should have. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Okay. So then the next one is, what is your favorite Bible verses?
I have a lot.
What do you got?
I like Romans 12:2, about
that's
not
good.
conforming to the world around you, but being transformed by a renewal of your mind. I just think that's a really good reminder, like every single day, because it's so easy to fall into the conformities of the world, and like you have to keep renewing your mind, and it's not just like, oh, like God will fix it, like it's like you have to make that mindset change too yourself.
That's good.
Dang, she was ready for that one.
Yeah, she was.
I think that was the right
Yeah, that was the right verse.
right?
Yeah, that was good.
It sounded good.
Yeah, I think the pastor here shouldn't.
What?
Romans 12:2. Can't you recite that?
Yeah.
You don't have the whole Bible memorized. Come on.
Yeah, I know. What translation do you want? King James version?
Always. My favorite verse. I always have a new favorite one. Probably Matthew 6:33 and 34. Seek first the kingdom of God. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will something.
Worry about itself.
Yeah, tomorrow will
Love it.
worry about itself. When you really dive into that verse, really putting God first, I don't know. It's a good one. Hope that answered your question.
Awesome. What is your greatest testimony to date?
These are
So,
good
to
questions.
this
Forget
day-
I have
this
a
stuff.
good
I'm
one.
done here.
Got a good one?
I always forget about this one. Yeah, this was crazy. This was definitely God. I was on a school study trip in Turkey, the country of Turkey.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. But we were flying, and I had my passport, and this is wild. And we were flying from Istanbul to Ephesus. And I had this system going. I had to show them my passport to get on the plane, and then I would like put it in the seat back or on my backpack and then grab it later. Well, this time we get to our destination and get off the plane. I go claim my bag and everything. We get on our tour bus, and I go to look in my backpack where I had kept my passport the whole time, and my passport is gone. No passport at all. And I'm sitting in the back of this tour bus just freaking out. Like, okay, I'm in this country.
You're not coming back to the
Crazy
United
stuff
States,
is
buddy.
going on in this country, and I don't have a passport. So I went up and told one of my professors we had this Turkish tour guide who was a Muslim, and we told him, and he just starts yelling, and we had to turn. We left the airport on the bus. We turned the bus around, went back to the airport, and got out, and he leads me into the airport, and he's a fast walker, so I'm basically running to keep up with him. And he is telling me all these things about how I'm going to have to go to the capital city of Ankara, and how they're going to think that I sold my passport to a terrorist, and how basically in my mind I'm thinking I'm dead. I'm going to be stuck
He
here.
was crying by now. I would be at least.
I don't think I shed a tear, but I should have. I wish I would have. And this was like the second day of our trip, of a 10-day trip. And I think my life is over, basically, that the trip is done. I'm going to be in this capital city forever. Yada, yada. He goes on. He's yelling at all these people in Turkish. I don't even know where we're at. I'm just following him. And then, moral of the story, they stopped the plane I was on the runway. Like, people had boarded and were about to take off. They stopped the plane on the runway and got my passport off of it.
What?
And brought it to me.
Wow.
If the plane would have left, I never would have gotten the passport back. But they stopped it on the runway and brought me my passport. Wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead and beat that one.
I
I'm just kidding.
need to think about it, and I'll get back to you.
Tune in later.
You guys don't have to answer them all. Let's see. It was... Okay, so this person had 2 questions. What is your most memorable or difficult test of faith? And who do you credit most for leading you into your faith, like getting you started with your walk with God? Who would you credit most for that?
It's good.
Well, I'll answer the second one first. Honestly, this guy. Because, I was raised in the church, in the Catholic church, and it was kind of just get up on Sunday morning, go to church, leave, eat brunch.
Brunch. Remember, she's passionate
She
about
likes
brunch, everybody.
Man,
Always.
Yeah, so it was very just going through the motions. I totally didn't have a relationship with the Lord, and I didn't know what I'd never even heard of having a relationship with the Lord, and didn't know that there was even anything else, for me that I could be having. I thought what I was doing was just, that's what you did. That's what Christians do. But Scott invited me to youth, I guess, probably, after.
We had a dress-up party at my house at Farley. That was the first time he came, I think.
Is that the first one?
Yeah.
But that
was
wasn't
awesome.
the night, I don't think. But Scott invited me to youth, and I went because I wanted to hang out with him. And then just really getting, involved there. And I felt like the people who, welcomed me into the youth group here really, were invested in me and wanted so much for me to know the Lord too. And then I think it was revival week. I came 3 nights, and was when I really had a clicking moment. There is actually something, having a relationship with the Lord is actually it looks so much different than what I have right now. So thanks.
You're welcome. The question, well, repeat the question.
What was the question?
Test of faith.
Test of faith.
You'll have to go with the first one.
I don't know an answer to the first one.
Oh.
Test of faith. Passport. Just kidding. I want to skip that one. Sorry. Who had the biggest role of what something? My family had a big role growing up in the church. So my sisters were always a good influence for the most part, and my parents played a big role in all of it. But then from the church, Pastor Adam, my youth pastor, he challenged me a lot, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today or who I am today without him. So
That was the last one? This is
one
the
more.
last one.
One more
Yep,
from Facebook.
I think so. How have you remained pure in your relationship? Did or have you had pressure, and how have you handled that pressure?
We've been dating for 6.5 years, so no pressure ever.
No, it's been so easy.
We're going to ask for forgiveness for liars.
Okay. Putting boundaries in place,
Nice.
setting boundaries from day one. I already forget most of the question. But, yeah, dating for that long is difficult to stay pure. But
Basically, what advice could you give us for dating? You know, whether middle school, high school, going into the college age, what has held you guys strong for staying pure, and what advice could you give us?
Both of us being equally, like, both of us having a relationship with the Lord is, like,
yeah.
the
And
main
him number
thing.
one.
I've just experienced so many of my best friends in college in relationships with people who aren't Christians or who aren't, like, my friends who are super, like, strong in their faith, who have been like had a relationship with the Lord for as long as, like, I know, and then dating non-Christians or, like, skeptics or, you know, just people who don't have the same values as them, and they've had a really hard time in that area of their life. And I think, like, the only way to completely, like, stay pure in your relationship is to date someone who also has a relationship with the Lord, because you both have to have the same values in that aspect, in a lot of areas of life. But that is so important.
Yeah, but that doesn't guarantee it right there, because I know a lot of people that have that didn't remain. But, yeah, boundaries. I mean, we've always had boundaries of, like, okay, careful where we hang out alone, things like that, just so we don't get that temptation. Even now, I have my own apartment, so when she comes to town, my best friend Devin, he'll stay over just so we're not alone. So any of that, where she lives, she's got a roommate, just so we're never put in that situation, even to today. But, yeah, through high school and everything, it was always just, not putting ourselves in that situation where we would be tempted and give in to that temptation.
That's good words of advice. I mean, you basically said it as, if you don't set the boundaries ahead of time, you don't know where the line is when the moment hits. And good luck when the moment hits on finding when those boundaries are, because your head is just not looking for boundaries at that time. So you really have to set them ahead of time. I'm going to give you 2 more questions, and we'll wrap it up tonight. And number one is, what advice can you give us being a Christian in a secular school? I know you went to ORU, but you went to West Dubuque before that, so this could go high school, college, or whatever. You know, what advice can you give us to stand strong as a Christian? Well, you know what? I know you can answer this. I know ORU is awesome, but you're still going to find some craziness there. So
she's got stuff written out for this. She's
I
ready.
she was
she's
ready
ready
for
to
this.
go.
I couldn't skip this
I
one.
mean,
Let's
it's
go.
not that
Lean in.
much.
Come on.
Okay.
This is going to be good.
So basically, when I went to college, my college is technically Methodist, but, like, we have chapel hour once a week, and it's not required. So it's not really associated at all. But I think it would have been really easy to walk away from my faith freshman year, because it is such a time of, like, transition. Like, everything that I have known is, like, I'm moving away from. So I think, and so many, like, influences are being thrown at you all at once, that I think it would have been easy to just, like, forget about my faith. And it's really just deciding to choose the right influences and the right paths to take. Sometimes, like, in college and being at a pretty secular university, I have a hard time sharing my faith with a lot of people who I go to school with because I am such a people pleaser. My friends and I have been talking about this a lot. We don't want it to seem like we're like shoving our faith down someone's throat, or that we're being judgmental, and it's hard because we know that we're gonna look like the odd ones out, and like fitting in is comfortable. But realizing that we aren't called to fit in or be popular, we're called to bring glory to God and share His word, even if that doesn't mean we're the most popular person. Obviously, like in a nice way, like not forcefully shoving scripture in their face, but just knowing that we aren't called to just please everyone else, ultimately.
Yeah.
She, like, didn't say this, but shout out to her because no matter where, like in your high school, if you want to share your faith with people or you want to tell people about Jesus, it's not going to work if you just walk up to everybody and be like, do you know Jesus? Do you know Jesus? They're going to think you're weird and tune you out. But what Maggie does, which is so incredible, and what we need to do is you got to add value to somebody's life before you can share anything about Jesus with them. So if you got to know that I care about you, that I truly like and want to know about you as a person before you'll listen to me tell you about who Jesus really is. So Maggie, what she's so good at this school where you have so many friends that it's Oklahoma, so people grew up going to church or what, not everybody, but what she does is she adds value to people's life, loves them, even though they do stupid things. We all do stupid things. But is there for them, cares about them, listens to them. And so then when the time comes where she can give them advice from like a biblical standpoint or share Jesus' love with them, they receive that because they know that she's legit. She cares about them. So yeah, that's in all of our lives, no matter where your high school, like that's huge. There's a lot of people that don't go to church, and if you're constantly being like just standoffish to them, where I don't want to associate with you at all, you have to add value to people's lives before they'll take anything from you. So
That's really good. I mean, yeah, you can't be a part of the group that's making fun of somebody or bullying somebody or picking on somebody, and then think you're going to be a witness to them. They're going to say, "Skip you. I don't want your God."
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in my first couple of years in high school, there were several, or middle school too, there were a lot of people that didn't like me because I hung out around the cool crowd and made fun of a lot of people, and I feel terrible about it. But if they knew that I came from this church, they wouldn't want to come to this church because of the example I was in their life. So that took a total change for me the second half of my high school career. But yeah.
I'm going to ask this one last question, and then we'll take off for tonight. But this is probably one of the biggest nerve-wracking things. We get to the end of our high school career, and we're trying to decide, should we go into the workforce, or we go into college and stuff like that. How did you decide what college to attend to? How did you guys make your decision, graduation, and what your next step was in life?
I'll start here. Okay. I went to I had Oklahoma City University in my head for like all of high school, and it was kind of a little added perk that Scott was then in Tulsa. But I mean, it totally it was not it was totally planned before we had any of these plans made because of things have just worked out seamlessly. But I think when choosing a school to go to, the power and making any decision in life, actually the power of prayer is kind of underrated. A lot of times whenever we need advice and we hear oh, just pray about it, we take that as okay, just another Christian response. But prayer is the one direct form of communication we have with the Lord Almighty. And I think in making those big decisions, like the power of prayer is so important and so strong. And then listening to your responses, really like having your chair time, like Scott was talking about, is where you'll maybe find that. So, did I answer the question?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
It's what we've been talking about. God speaks primarily through the inward witness, and getting to know his voice. It's like that green light, red light, just staying quiet enough. Pray, ask, prayer is powerful. But then listen and be like, all right, Lord, what's the direction? You all good?
She's legit.
She's legit.
That's good. Yeah, looking into, I don't know, listen to God. It's hard. It feels, I never heard God tell me go to ORU. I didn't hear his voice say go to ORU. But as I walked through the journey, the next step was clear to me as I went. I didn't know what step Z was, but I took step B. And then I took step B and a half. Or B, I don't know how you would split an alphabet letter. But God kind of just shows you one step at a time. So you're not going to know the end goal.
Yeah.
I don't know my end goal now. I don't know what Z is for me, but I know I'm in step M. So you got to take it one step at a time.
Yeah. We're really what it is that walk of faith. There's been times like you're describing, there's times that I know maybe A, B, C, and then there's other times where you get to C and he doesn't show D, E, F, or whatever the rest of the alphabet is. Until you get to a certain spot, he might show you some stuff again. And it's just really that walk of faith all along the way. But guys, I want to thank you for just joining us tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining online. And you guys coming out on a Thanksgiving night. You got a question you want to ask? All right.
One more.
One more. What you got?
Are we invited to the wedding?
Oh, that's a good question. And Scott has left
You're all
the building.
Yeah, check
invited
the
to
mail.
come dance.
Check the mail.
Everyone can come dance after dinner.
I'm not
There we go,
dancing.
after party.
I'm not dancing.
Hey, we got a live band.
After party, yeah.
I might do a jig. I know. Guys, thank you for being here tonight with us.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
the opportunity.
appreciate it.
Love you guys.
And
We're
for guys, make sure you bump shoulders with them. You guys got any questions out there? Yep. And ask your questions. Say hi to these guys.